Hey, listeners, welcome back to yet another episode of Coffee, Cable, and Curveballs. Did I say it right this time?
Nope.
Cables, Coffee, and Curveballs. You think I know the name of my own show by this point? We are coming to you live from Infocomm23 in sunny Orlando, and we have a very, very special guest with us today from across the pond, Iffat Chaudhry from UK. Did I say that right?
You did.
Well done, George.
Awesome.
Thank you. Lovely to be here. I really like your name. I'm pleased that you've gone for CCC as we are at the OCCC.
No, that's fair.
Look at that.
I wasn't even thinking about that. Yeah.
That's clever. I thought you were being clever.
Yeah. Oh, we were.
We're simple, but we'll go with clever. We'll go with
I like
clever.
clever.
So, Iffat, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
So I've been in the industry since 2006. Been an end user. Worked well. Most of my AV life has been within integration. So across several different verticals. I work for Involve at the moment. I manage anything that has to be bidded for. So tender writing, bid writing, response, pre-sales kind of work. Alongside that, I have a podcast that you might have come across. It's called What If?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
My mission with that is to simplify diversity, equity, and inclusivity in our industry and get some conversations on record and shared so that people become, over time, hopefully more comfortable with having some difficult conversations.
Sure. And that is so important for our industry. People are having conversations with the changes there or not, only time will tell, but at least the conversations have started. Our industry, I've felt for years, has been quiet. If you don't hear anything, it's good. It's a good thing.
No news is good news.
No news is good news. That's what I was
Yeah.
going for. So it's wonderful that you're voicing that and bringing that to the forefront. So thank you for that. But let's start with Infocomm. We're at Infocomm, right? So have you seen anything you like so far?
You know what? Today is my walking round day. So
Okay.
after this recording,
Nice.
So I haven't had a chance to see much just because my schedule's been back to back
Sure.
up until now.
Sure.
But there's a buzz.
Yep.
The buzz is good. The flow is good. I love that it's one hall. Vegas was more of a challenge, having to walk 10 minutes between the two halls.
Yeah.
That's rough.
It's obviously a lot smaller than ISC. So ISC is our local show
Right.
in Europe. And I think in terms of footfall, it's double the size.
Right.
So it doesn't compare to that really. But this feels like today and the time I've got tomorrow to walk around, I should be able to get around everybody that I've promised I will come and visit.
Sure.
We definitely overpromised on this trip, right, George?
Everybody does.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
That's nothing new for me. But
That's fair. That's fair.
For Rich, this is the first time for sure.
But I have to say, the esports, that's first on my list to
Yeah.
go and see. That looks amazing.
This is the first time, I believe, right?
It's
at
the first
Infocomm?
time. It does look
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. So, have you been to previous Infocomms before?
Yeah.
So, what do you think? How do you think this matches up? I feel like last year's Infocom was, like you said, it was great to be back. The trek between the two buildings was hellish. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, why not?
But how do you think
You
this?
did have the Tesla, though, in between.
Oh, that's right. I
Tesla
didn't
on the
find
top.
out about it until the end.
The thing is, by the time you had walked to where the Tesla was,
Right.
you had already melted
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Too far.
And actually, when you got out, to walk back. So
Yeah.
it was nicer to walk in between within aircon.
Yeah.
Fair.
And it's Vegas, so Vegas heat will do you in for sure. But how do you feel this Infocom? I feel this Infocom in Orlando this year is pretty big.
It feels it. It doesn't feel smaller. It feels just as busy.
Yeah.
I mean, the stands seem to have plenty of people, plenty of interest. Day one is always really busy. So yesterday you really noticed it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But today hasn't been any calmer.
There hasn't been drop off.
No.
It's
I think, and I know of a few people I've met who only flew in yesterday.
Yep.
Mhm.
So, I don't think there's drop off.
Yeah, we heard there was a great presentation this morning at 8:30 that most people flew in for. So
Yeah.
just kidding. That was our presentation.
Yeah, he's just plugging the presentation. We did have over 100 people in there. I was pretty happy for that for 8:30 in the morning, right?
Yeah.
I won't tell you where I was at 8:30 in the morning. If
Fair.
I'd known, I would have come.
Fair.
No, it's
That's
okay.
okay. No.
Um, I'm not sure I was there until I was there, so it's okay.
Yeah.
You said you were in higher ed before, or
So I was trained as a teacher.
teacher? Okay.
And
Me too.
and then went back in as a lecturer for a few years as well.
Cool.
With teacher training, which I believe you call training to become educators.
Mhm.
Right.
So terminology is slightly different, but same thing.
Mhm.
So yeah, I've done quite a bit of work with the higher ed sector as well. But it's just, I think having that knowledge when you've been an end user, it just gives you a different perspective of what the constraints are and what people, when it comes to faculty and managing faculty,
Right.
what people are up against. And to be honest, those things are not dissimilar whether you're working in corporate or healthcare or government, which I'm doing now. It just people are people, right? So people will resist. They'll resist change. They'll resist you trying to encourage them to use different tech when but the investment. My biggest thing was when organisations are investing so much money into improving the technology, and then the end users are like, "Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and use my
Chalkboard.
my Novo board."
Yeah.
So
Other brands are available.
So, given you background, let's talk a little bit about, pivot into our... Oh, pivot.
Pivot.
Um,
I don't have a coffee. Sorry. Joe Way told us we have to drink coffee every time
Every
we say
time we say
pivot.
pivot.
It's a Friends thing. Are you a Friends fan?
are you
Yeah.
Friends?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That's that's
Yeah,
the one
yeah.
staple question we have to ask
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
what is your take on experiential learning?
I'm just going to add one thing there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I frequently tag Joe Way in the Joey GIF where Joey's wearing all the clothes because Joe Way refuses to check in luggage.
My goodness. Oh, I didn't know that about him.
Yeah,
Interesting.
he's a carry-on. So
Oh.
carry-on only. He swears by it. And,
Interesting.
So every time he's traveling anywhere, out comes the Joey GIF with
I
everything.
love it.
So I call him Joey.
This is my in real life Joey Tribbiani right here.
Well,
Yeah.
that's probably true.
Yeah.
That's probably true. So, what's your take on experiential learning? What's the place for it in education today?
Hugely important. It's the way forward. It's the way students expect now to learn. So you can't shy away from that. Interesting thing on the news today that I saw actually was in music, the Beatles' final album is being completed using AI.
Whoa.
Really?
Yeah, so that
Wowzers.
was being discussed. That should they, shouldn't they?
Oh my goodness.
Is it cheating? The guys are dead now, so
Right,
how do you know that that's the way the album would have gone? In terms of you're putting a lot of pressure on AI to create that creativity. But I think children and students, especially young people, I think they think differently. They want to be stuck in doing things that are a bit more practical. They don't want chalk and talk.
Right. Oh, I like that. Chalk and talk.
And
You should use that.
Yeah.
I like that.
And it just it's the way forward.
Yeah.
And I know there's pros and cons to everything,
There's always going to be resistance, right?
but that comes along with change.
Yeah. When I was in grad school, learning to become a teacher, and it was always this. So experiential thing's always been baked in there. Sage on the side was like one of my professors baked that in as a saying. So it's always been there, but I feel like now with the way the pandemic pushed us forward, the way tech has pushed us forward, we've fast forwarded so quickly that we don't have a choice except to adopt this experiential, which we are loving because we're all about it. That's what we're pushing at pace. But that always, when you mentioned that the teaching angle of it, I've always think back to that professor who guided me 15 years ago when I was getting my master's and said that to me. So it's always been there. It's just we have to really emphasize it and push it and keep moving it forward.
It's something that was there was zero tolerance on my students not building that into their sessions. So when they were being assessed, they had to have that interaction.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't stand there for 40 minutes or 60 minutes and just talk at their students.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Some people still do that.
Yeah,
they still have that experience.
Unfortunately,
and it's just not conducive.
No.
I think.
I mean, I look at my 10-year-old. I bring him up quite often because that's how I look at the future generations. And my guy is stuck in his iPad, and he knows
Yeah,
everything
of course,
about
yeah.
his video games. He lives in Fortnite, which is essentially the metaverse for
Yep.
as I know it, right?
Mhm.
And that's just the kind of learning we should be expecting to impart on this next
So
generation.
our workplaces are becoming more that way. So if we're not equipping our students, we're setting them up to fail when they go out for jobs.
Right.
Everything else, the industry is moving. So it has to happen.
Yeah, we talked about that kind of at nauseum in our presentation, but that was our what you just said is what was our takeaway from our presentation this morning. That if we're not preparing them with real life situations and problem solving skills, and which again all goes back to the experiential learning by doing, what are we preparing them for? Because they're always going to be doing something, problem solving or whatever field they go into. It doesn't have to be AV or IT. It could be anything. It could be a teacher, but they're going to be solving a problem of training these young minds.
Yeah, not to give our presentation again, but
Hold on, let me get the slide deck. Let me get the slide deck.
I feel I was there, like I was clearly there in spirit.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes.
No, but I think we have the same train of thought there, because lecture, yes, there's a place for it. Reading a textbook, there's a place for it. But once they go into the real world, the situations are different. It's not necessarily out of a textbook.
Yeah.
Right.
So you practice by doing, and you get there. You see, we have to tell students you're going to fail at something.
Mm-hmm.
So something I used to say to my students, maybe your professor might have liked this. I used to say, if somebody gave you a recipe to bake a cake and you just looked at the recipe and said, yeah, I know how to do that, without baking the cake,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
You're gonna
how long before you forget how to
Right.
bake
Yep.
a cake,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
You can't do it. So
I like that.
that used to
Make a
kind
note of that.
That used to
Noted.
sit. That used to sit with some people.
Yeah.
And it's the same
I
thing.
love cake. That's what I wrote down.
What's your favorite cake?
Almond cake from Sergio's
Oh,
and back at
yes.
home.
So
Yeah,
I had amazing cheesecake here,
Ooh,
actually,
excellent.
in the US. I mean, I don't think anywhere does. Sorry, rest of the world. But I think the US do the best cheesecakes.
Oh,
I'm gonna get mushy here. My wife makes the absolute best tiramisu I've ever had in my life.
Okay,
Aw.
right.
So-
well,
That
we
was
don't
so
know
cute
that,
of you.
right? The proof of the pudding.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Well,
we're-
that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's,
Nice.
that's
nice.
just like a little nudge to say
next time.
Yeah,
Next time.
bring a takeaway.
Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. We ask each of our guests this, so we're gonna tell you the things that have been chosen already. What is your favorite gadget or piece of technology that you can't live without? So I believe iPhone,
And
iPad, and laptop have already been taken. Is there? I mean,
Okay.
is there anything that other
Obviously,
than
this
that?
question is gonna get tougher. For
Yeah, it's gonna get
every
tougher for the-
next
yeah,
guest.
for the folks.
No, I've got straight off
Love it.
my noise cancelling headphones.
Well,
Ah,
yeah, I
well
like
done.
that one.
Well
I like
done.
that
Oh my
one.
god, there was a screaming child on the plane two rows behind me who cried. I mean, it was a baby, and I
Yeah.
sympathise. But this baby cried solidly for 6 hours.
Oh,
Yeah. I
So-
flew to India in January, and I was stuck in one of those situations.
Yeah, how can you
Miserable.
live? My phone was off at this point, right? So I was living without my iPhone in the flight. I was not living without that.
Yeah.
That was not happening.
That's
oh
a
my
good one.
goodness.
That's a
I
good
like
one.
that one. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yep.
They're always charged. I've got 2 sets. They're always with me.
Nice.
Always with me.
Very nice. If you had 2 sets, you would lose them both, right?
Like
wireless.
150%.
Yeah.
I make myself sound. No, it's true. So let's digress. Nothing good can come out of where this is headed.
Yeah.
This is we're gonna go into some general questions, right? I just looked down and this is like hysterical. So I'm going to.
Oh.
Oh no, I lost. What is this? Because we talked about cake. What is the strangest food combination you've ever tried, and did you enjoy it?
I can't think.
Yeah.
What have other people said?
No, I literally looked down and it was.
I think that's the first
thing
time
I
he
saw,
asked that
so
one.
That might be the first
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to help me out with some suggestions. I'm trying to
For
think.
me, it was when we were in Italy.
Oh, I've thought of one.
Okay, go for
Sorry.
it. No, go ahead. Go right ahead.
This is a really simple one, but McDonald's French fries
Oh.
dipped in their ice cream,
Whoa.
Actually, sounds delicious.
and it tastes like waffle.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, George is on his way to McDonald's
And
right
it-
now.
Yeah,
in
that
his
might be
head.
happening.
And if you put a hot apple pie in there as well,
Oh my goodness! Oh,
What is
like
happening right now?
it's calorific,
That
but
sounds
it's
amazing.
insanely good. So
Yeah.
McFlurry, McFries, and the hot apple pie.
wow.
Listeners, go out and get yourself one of those and let us know what
And
you think.
the slight melting of the ice cream is
Yeah.
like that touch. That's
Yeah.
like, yes. Oh,
I know, Rich.
Very nice. Yeah.
And he's actually tasting it in his brain
I am.
right now.
I am.
It's
I
not-
am.
it's
Hey, that's
not
fruit in it. Apples. You
Uh,
know. It's got to be healthy somewhere.
potatoes.
Potatoes.
What-
You're a
some
big
of
French fry guy.
Oh,
Some
God,
of your 5 a day.
I'm a purist, though. I like only my French fries.
Yeah.
I don't like
Breakfast,
but
lunch, and
this
dinner.
is something I will try.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now my example is going to sound just so boring. I was going to say mine was when we were in Italy. We kept eating Chinese food there.
Okay.
Huh.
It was strange, but it was
Wrong
delicious.
continent. Okay.
Yeah, but it was delicious. So, yeah,
So something that shouldn't have worked, but
Yeah.
it
really
shouldn't have worked, but it
Yeah.
worked really well. And we kept going back to Chinese food. It's so weird.
Interesting.
that's good.
I don't have one off the top of my head. I cannot think of one.
Well,
I
you-
always hear the peanut butter and jello. Like, is that? I've never tried it.
peanut butter and Jello?
Yeah,
Never heard.
Whoa.
I've heard that a lot, but I've never tried it.
Sounds like we gotta
Interesting.
try it.
I am a big peanut butter fan.
Check out the next episode. We're gonna try. We're
Yeah.
gonna talk about it.
Yeah, we'd start doing like live taste testings and stuff like that.
We talked about that one time.
Yeah,
Remember
the
spice
wings,
levels?
the wing challenge.
Yeah.
We should have done that.
If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why? How come we didn't ask that to anybody?
Wow.
else?
I don't know. We have too many
There
questions.
are so many.
We have so many
Yeah.
questions.
That's a
There are
very
so
interesting
many.
That's a
one.
good one.
I mean, I love my music, so there's a lot of music icons that I would love to have met. I think I'd have to go for somebody who was a humanitarian, somebody like Mother Teresa or someone, way out who probably who would be just so, I don't do dinner,
Right,
rather than somebody glamorous.
right.
Somebody who's a bit more under the radar. I know she was
Sure.
ridiculously famous, but somebody, I think
For the record-
somebody like that.
For the record, I was in her presence once,
No
and
way.
it is one of the most amazing
Wow.
moments
Wow.
you can be in. She was there literally in and out 5 seconds. We were in her convent, and we saw her for 5 seconds. Her presence was unbelievable.
Which is
Unbelievable.
insane because she was so ridiculously humble
Yes,
that you don't expect that, but you kind of know that she must have had that
Yes,
in
it
order
is.
to get
amazing.
she got things done
Yeah,
against the odds.
yeah,
So, and what an example in terms of, for me, I think, we hang on to material things. This is what I keep telling my children when they want the next best whatever.
right.
It's all going to be left here, right? So it's about your deeds and what you're leaving
Absolutely.
behind and your
Absolutely.
legacy and what a legacy she has.
Yeah,
So,
if you, not to get off on a tangent on that, but if you go to the convent, they still have preserved the place that she used to sleep, the
wow.
wooden bed
Yeah.
and everything
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the original day. It's I'm telling you, being there is something else.
Yeah.
So it's quite an experience. So
I don't know what I would say to her. I think I would have just been in awe.
you
Yeah.
But,
don't.
yeah.
There's nothing you can
No.
say. It's amazing. And things. Anyways. You want to do your?
No, I have two quick things as we start wrapping up. One, as far as just going back to the show quickly for a second, is there one thing you set out to maybe see that, like maybe a project that you're currently working on or thinking about in the future? So is there one thing that you're kind of hoping to see, or maybe you've already, in general, just so our listeners are aware of that? Like
So this afternoon, I'm on a bit of a mission to see if there's anything that we could perhaps. So we do a lot of work in healthcare in the UK,
Okay.
and so anything new or anything that's progressive that would suit the healthcare market.
Okay.
I'm on the hunt for something.
all right.
Um,
And we do ask everybody this question as well. Present company excluded, of course. Who is your favorite bald guy of all time? Movie star, rock star, actor?
We have one right answer.
We have one right answer, but
favorite bald guy.
I mean, you're on a bald guy show, so you're gonna have to.
Yeah. There's so many to choose from in this industry, right? If I didn't choose the great Joe Kardashian, Joe
Oh.
Way, Joe Dashian, or Joey,
I was like, wait.
I think he might have something to say.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
Joe and I have our moments, and we have our push and pull. But he is good for the industry. He's a good advocate for AV.
All right.
So
Nice.
I think he's up there as one of the good guys.
Nice.
Fair enough.
I got the the selfie stamp on my head last night. Yeah, I said it was okay though.
I haven't given him consent.
Fair. He said he was very much on board with that. With George.
He had it right there.
Right.
Yeah, I did take. Yeah, it's gone.
And
now,
it was on
but,
social media.
you know, our answer is Bruce Willis.
Always
Do
Bruce
you know what? I was
We are
literally
big-
about to say
Yeah,
Bruce
yeah,
Willis.
we are big Bruce Willis fans.
I have had a crush on Bruce Willis since
So if we,
since he had hair.
Fair.
So,
Yeah, like his cameos on Friends, like love it. Those are our favorite.
It
I mean, it goes way
back,
back, but
yeah.
we're That's
Statham is second on my list.
Statham is probably second on my list too.
Okay.
Do we have the same list?
I think we do.
We probably have the same list.
We spend way too much time together, anyways.
Yeah.
You, sir.
No,
Continue.
you're the one that wraps it up.
No, the streaming season.
Oh, streaming season. I forgot streaming season.
Golly, man.
You want me to do everything?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
For
How many?
once.
3 segments in a row. All right. So we ask all of our guests also about. We call it streaming season. SZN. George wants to be cool and hip like the kids and have this really cool segment. So it's like, oh, it's Fleek. It's slaps. Like they say all these cool words or stupid words.
I
really,
will not be caught saying any
What
of
are you
those
currently
words.
watching? Sports, movies, shows, live shows, streaming shows. It's open ended. It's not like it's whatever you're watching really or interested in watching.
So I just finished watching, and I know I'm behind the rest of the world on it. This Is Us.
Okay.
And the best part of that was when I landed at MCO and had to go through passport control. The guy who he was the image of the son, the adopted son.
Okay.
So I had a bit of a fangirl moment.
Nice.
That was
Cool.
So,
Yeah.
This
I've
Is
heard
Us.
that's a great show. I've
is
never
a great
watched
show.
it, but
It covers a lot of issues that are dear to my heart, which I wasn't expecting. I just came upon it by accident and got stuck into it. So,
Awesome.
all right.
It's good.
All right.
Yeah, that is a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah. Am I watching anything? What did I watch recently? This happens to me every time.
I watched the Super Mario Brothers with my kids a couple weeks ago because they've been obsessed with it, and that's a childhood memory of mine. And the fact that it's come full circle and is out again, I paid the bit the bullet, paid the $27, and now we can stream it forever because we own it. So,
School Spirit, that's the one.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's actually it's interesting. It's about a girl that dies in the high school, and her spirit.
The end.
The end.
there's a lot of morbid things you've been talking about today.
Right?
Our
What is going
presentation,
on?
you were talking about body parts. Like, oh my goodness.
Let's not get into that again. And she's trying. Her spirit is trying to find out who murdered her.
Got it.
So it's very interesting. It's a very interesting twist on that. So it was.
It's like a modern day ghost.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like Agatha Christie for dead people.
Mm.
But yeah.
So that ties in with Bruce Willis and I See Dead People.
Yeah,
Yes!
absolutely.
Oh my God, full circle.
There we go.
You're good.
Always a
You're
full
good.
circle moment. Excellent.
Iffat, thank you so much for joining us
Absolute
today.
pleasure.
How can people get in touch with you?
Oh, yeah, I keep.
So most people know me as Ifsy on Twitter.
Correct.
But Iffat Chaudhry on LinkedIn as well. They're probably the 2 platforms that I use the most.
Awesome. Awesome.
Is there anything else I'm forgetting?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, in that case, thank you so much for joining
Absolute
us.
pleasure,
Yeah.
and I look forward to you being on What If.
Excellent.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Take care.
Oh,
Enjoy the rest of your show.
She
Yes.
hit you with the take care. That's his sign
That's
off.
my
I
sign
love
off.
that's it.
Take
I'm
care.
mic drop.
Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
it.
Appreciate it.
That's it.
Take care.
We're ending the show. Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thank you.